Welcome to the worst of the best podcast. You wanted the best. Well, they didn't freaking make it! So here's what you get. From Canada, Ryan and Ruban.
All right, we're recording. Hey, Ruben, how's it going, brother?
Very good. This is our first episode of the Worst of the Best podcast, doing it across the country.
Yeah, it's exciting and sad and exciting, much like my love life.
Dude, so
a little humor to start off the show. Yeah, because I'm in Quebec right now, Quebec, Canada. For those who want to look it up, I've moved 3 time zones over, and I've explained this on the Rocky show that we do, because our listeners are wondering, hey, where's Ruben? What I've explained is that you're 3 hours behind, I'm 3 hours ahead, however you want to look at it, and we're both very busy people. You have a family and very much full-time long days of work, and I've got long days coming up in my new position, and it's just hard to correlate 10 in the evening my time, 7 p.m. your time, and recording episodes. But we do it for the fans, Ruben.
Yeah, that's right. In case you're not a fan yet, and this is your very first time listening, the Worst of the Best podcast, we go over the very best things in life, and then we decide which one's the worst thing of it. Yeah. So today, this is the Mandela Effect. Some examples that we're going to go over of the Mandela Effect, and then we're going to decide which one's the worst one out of these best examples.
Yeah, so these are 14. We're going to go over 14 Mandela Effect examples, Ruben, that will mess with your brain and our listeners' brains.
It's easy to do for mine.
Is it easy to mess your brain?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, let's go over what the Mandela Effect is. Maybe some of our listeners might not know. The Mandela Effect is one of the internet's recently popular conspiracy theories that has been messing with a lot of brains. So this phenomenon is when thousands of people with no relation to each other, or they can have relation to each other, have the exact same collective misremembering of the same event. And we're going to go over some examples, of course, of what those are. The name was coined by a lady named Fiona Bloom. And she coined this phrase in 2013, so fairly recently, when human rights activist Nelson Mandela died. Mm-hmm. So many people, Ruben, from all over the world were confused because they had the same vivid memory of him dying in prison during the 80s. The announcement came out, Nelson Mandela dead in 2013. There was enough people that people started saying, hey, what the heck? He died in the 80s in jail. So there's some confusion. You had one group of people saying he's already dead, another saying, no, well, he just died in 2013. People have even found, Ruben, old textbooks and biographies that state that Nelson Mandela did die in the 80s. And since then, many other collective false memories have sprung up and shaken up our reality. So there are a lot of different theories for why the Mandela Effect exists. Many believe that it's a result of time travel. Possibly some person who will live thousands of years from now travel back to our time and change the little things in the middle of our lifetime. And other people go into parallel universes and things like that. I've actually listened to a lot of different podcasts and YouTube videos about the Mandela Effect, Ruben. It's a fascinating effect because I feel like it's happened in my life. Over these examples we'll go through, some of them I think I misremembered myself, is what I'm saying. Anything off the top of your head, Ruben, that you've experienced, or?
No, you see, I'm on the spectrum of, it's interesting.
Okay.
But it hasn't gripped me, like in a similar way that has gripped you, though I do find it interesting.
And there's a theory behind that, Ruben, because I'm not alone. No, listen, because
I love it. I just love it. There's always a theory about something regarding something. It can never just be.
Well, no. Well, this is what it is, just be. The just be is the theory. We'll go through some of these examples. So have you gone over the list yet, Rube?
No.
Okay. So, Ruben, when we go over these examples, that will be the fun part of this experience, is you can tell me, hey, Ryan, I do recall this, I do misremember this, or maybe everything that you and I go over together, you might be like, it's exactly as I think it is. And there's a theory behind that, is what I was getting at, is that you're part of that shifting parallel universe that's on, quote-unquote, the right track, and I've been bumped off, or vice versa.
Sure. Have you seen the movie Yesterday?
No, but I go on, explain the premise. I know what you're talking about. Explain the premise.
The premise is there's some electrical blip around the world. Okay,
Yeah.
almost like a Y2K, but it's more just like the lights turning on and off for a moment, but worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. However, for one person, a struggling musician, he seems to be the only person to remember the Beatles' music.
Yeah, that's right. I would wonder if the Mandela Effect didn't exist, if this movie would exist.
Yes. Well, that's why I brought it up.
Okay. Oh, actually, Ruben, the reason why we're doing this episode too, as well, I should say, is we had an actor that you and I both enjoyed from the Larry Sanders Show, Rip Torn. He just recently passed away. Okay.
Again.
Yes. Yes, again. This is an example of the Mandela Effect. So, Ruben, you and I had a discussion about 6 months ago, specifically about the actor Rip Torn, because I was on the internet Googling whatever, and I came across a news piece on him that was current, that was talking about something about him being alive, like you would with anyone that's alive. And I'm like, why are they talking about Rip Torn being alive when he died like 5 or 6 years ago? It blew me away. And so I messaged you, and I said, Ruben, Rip Torn, dead or alive? No Googling, go. And you came back with what?
Dead.
You came back dead, no questions asked. And I was like, no, Ruben, he is alive. So that's what I'm getting at. That is a Mandela Effect. So we both misremembered collectively, independently of each other, saying, no, this is the way it is, or this is the way it should be. That's the whole point, is I just asked you right out of the box, is Rip Torn dead? And then I Googled it, Ruben, and before his death again that happened a few days ago, people on the internet were already saying, why am I hearing stories about Rip Torn being alive? He died some years ago. I remember my father and I talking about it at supper, like specific examples of what their conversations were at the dinner table.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like how Jimmy Kimmel's Lie Witness News.
No, you're right, because the argument could be, it's a collective misremember. That's I guess the non-conspiracy way is, for whatever reason, Joe Blow in Arkansas and Ryan Rubalkin in Victoria, or wherever, Quebec, Canada, we both misremember the same event. It's odd. It's weird. And it's the same time that we thought that the guy died. I didn't think he died 20 years ago. I thought he died about 5 or 6. Everyone thought he died about 5 or 6 years ago. That thought he died. Yeah. Nobody thought he died 20 years ago, and nobody thought he died a month ago. It's the same amount of time ago when these things happen. So that was the same with the Mandela Effect. People thought he died in prison in the 80s. Nobody said that he died in the 60s. People didn't say he died in the, it was...
Sure.
Yeah, that's the Mandela Effect. So it's fun. And at the end of the day, conspiracy theories, Ruben, they're fun but harmless, and the world will keep turning. Whether it's a flat-shaped world or not, it keeps spinning. Okay, here we go.
That's right.
So why don't you start with the first one, Rube?
Berenstain Bears. I've read that book a lot when I was a kid, and I read it to my kids now.
Yes.
Though I've actually kind of pulled back on reading. The dad's always an idiot in it.
The bumbling dad. That's a good the good old trope. It's a yeah.
Worse than the Berenstain Bears. Do you know how to spell it?
Well, yeah. This is a very popular one, but for our listeners, if you were to ask me, and I remember doing this experience, I did spell with EIN.
The Berenstain Bears, loved by many. And anyone tell you how it's spelled? I would 100% spell it Berenstein.
Yeah, that's how I would have spelled it. Yeah.
What if I would tell you it's wrong, Ryan?
It apparently is wrong, Ruben. So this is a Mandela Effect. How is it actually spelled?
It's the Berenstain Bears, not the Berenstain Bears.
Essentially.
So instead of EIN, it's AIN.
Yeah. So
that's it.
That's an easy one that people can kind of get into, and it's one that you can ask your friends or family, spell the Berenstain Bears for you, and I think everyone I've done this exercise with has done the EIN. There's an example of Mandela Effect. In a real, quote, universe, maybe it's always been STAIN, or people have remembered it that way, but again, it just depends what shift you're on, right?
Yeah. There's examples of it being spelled both ways on their official products.
And that might be the genesis of some of the confusion, to be honest with you.
Sure, yeah. But why did that happen?
Right. Because you got the two universes collecting. Let's go on to the second one. This one, actually, Ruben, is a new one for me because I've done a lot of research on Mandela Effect, but this one is actually new. Don't look at it. Don't look at it.
All right. It's new for me as well because I am not looking at it.
Okay. How do you spell the Flintstones? So this one, Ruben, it was odd because the change that this person who did the research thinks it is, I'm hearing my echo on you. Is your headphones in?
Yep. I'm definitely listening to my headphones. I don't hear any echo on you.
It might just be I'm talking so loud in your ear. I tend to talk loud. Okay.
So this person is saying that Flintstones was spelled with an N. Flintstones instead of Flintstones. And they're saying that it changed from Flintstones to Flintstones.
So yeah, this guy might be on his own. I don't ever recall that. I've always thought it was the Flintstones.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of a weird one. The Flintstones, this guy's saying he thought it should not have a T, but it does. And I always thought it had a T, so you know what? This is one where it's no fun for us. It's fun for him, but not for us.
Okay.
Do you remember that song, Ruben, when you were a kid? I wish I was an Oscar Mayer Wiener.
Wiener. Yeah.
Okay. Well, how do you spell Meyer? How would you spell it?
Meyer?
Yeah.
M-Y-E-R?
The way that people pronounce the company's name is Meyer, so it being Mayer makes no sense. So it's spelt M-A-Y-E-R. So it isn't pronounced Oscar Mayer like John Mayer. It's pronounced Oscar Mayer. The pronunciation of the company name in the song just makes it seem like it should be Meyer, M-E-Y-E-R. But it's not, Ruben. It's Mayer. Are we just misremembering because of the song, maybe, and the pronunciation?
Why, yeah. Well, I guess I never knew how to spell either of them. I would have gone with M-Y-E-R. But still, phonetically, I got the Meyer.
Yeah,
I wish I was an Oscar Mayer Wiener.
I wish I was an Oscar Mayer Wiener. And to be fair, Wiener should be Weiner. So,
and to be fair, nobody should be singing this song.
We shouldn't have sang that song.
When I was a kid,
yeah,
I thought that their automobile thing was so cool.
You still don't think the Oscar Mayer Wiener vehicle is cool?
Like, as a kid, if that was our family vehicle, I would have been like, yeah. But as an adult, I would not want that to be my vehicle.
You wouldn't want to drive a big wiener around?
I would not, no. No.
Our fourth one, Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. This one is crazy. It's not Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, Ruben. In the movie, the Wicked Queen says Magic Mirror on the Wall.
Weird.
That's it for that one.
Everybody says mirror, mirror on the wall. Who is the prettiest?
Yeah, and I think
magic mirror on the wall.
It's magic mirror on the wall. Magic mirror on the wall. All right, number 5, Ruben. You want that one?
Sex in the City?
That's right.
That's a weird question. Like, you knew what the answer was. And so you asked me, Ruben, do you want Sex in the City?
Oh.
You're referring to the TV show.
Yeah.
Yes. Who's one of the main characters is from our hometown.
Who's that?
I don't know. I've never watched the show, but she's blonde, straight hair. No, not Sarah Jessica Parker.
I don't watch the show either. Is she the one with the mole?
Yes. She is the one with the mole.
Oh, moly.
Yes, that was the first thing I thought of too. Austin Powers, Fred Savage, great role. The beloved show about a woman named Carrie Bradshaw and her friends living in New York City is known by most who are original fans of the show Sex in the City.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you go back and watch the show, it is called Sex and the City.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't watch the show either, but it's just any show that's popular, you're aware of it. I always thought it was Sex and the City. It's
Sex and the City.
Yeah, so there's sex, and then you have a city as well. The two aren't happening at the same time, in the same place, necessarily.
Yeah. I never watched the show, so I'm curious to know people that did watch the show. If they're like, yes, no, it's Sex and the City.
Yeah, so speaking of sex, Forrest Gump. No, there was actually no segue in that. That was my attempt at humor.
Yes. No, it was good. It was good. I smiled.
Ruben, what is the most famous line from Forrest Gump? Go.
Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
That's right. Well, Ruben, if you actually go back and watch the movie, this is what Forrest Gump says to that lady on the bus bench. Life was like a box of chocolates.
Life was?
Yes.
That doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't sound right at all. But
life was like a box of chocolates?
Yes.
My mama always said life was like a box of chocolates. Why was she speaking in the past tense if she's alive?
Was she alive at this park bench scene?
When she said it, why would she say it was?
My mama said life was like a box of chocolate. Yeah, well, apparently, Ruben, if you go back, and I have gone back to the scene on YouTube, it's easy to Google, Forrest Gump chocolate scene, and he says was.
Weird. Why is it that nobody would pick up on that?
Yeah, because I saw this movie when it first came out, and I've heard that quote I don't know how many times in regular day life, and everyone says life is like a box of chocolates. But no, Forrest said was.
Now, that woman on the bench, this is obviously the biggest role she's ever had.
I think so.
Does she even know that it was?
Well, it would depend. See, Ruben, that's the question, is she's come from that universe that is correct.
Hilarious.
Right.
Okay.
Ruben, when Mr. Rogers, this is a fun way of doing this one here. So when Mr. Rogers starts singing the song, what's the first line? It's a
beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Yeah. Won't you be mine? Won't you be mine?
That's right, Ruben. Everyone who watched this show as a child remembers it that way. But it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood.
Oh, this. Instead of that.
Yeah.
Did you watch his Netflix documentary?
I have not yet. You?
Yeah, it's great.
Is it good? Did you cry?
Yeah. It's really good.
No, I want to see
really
it. Good. Now, isn't Tom Hanks doing a movie about Mr. Rogers, or has that already come out? Have we missed it?
Yeah, no, it hasn't come out yet.
Tom Hanks, he's the only guy that can play the nicest guys. He plays Mr. Rogers, he played Walt Disney.
I have a theory that actors who typically want to be portrayed as nice are jerks. I got this theory from watching Seinfeld bonus when they came with the box set of the show. There was 2 writers on there that was on other shows, and they said what they loved about writing for Seinfeld was he was always okay to be portrayed as a shallow jerk, wherever the joke was.
Who, Jerry?
Yeah, Jerry. He was totally fine with it.
Yeah.
Loved it. Relished it, you know? Where other people that they wrote for, they always want to be portrayed as the nice guy.
You think Tom Hanks is a jerk in real life? I don't think that's possible.
Well, here's the thing. I don't. But if they wrote for Roseanne, for example, I looked on their IMDb, and obviously she's a jerk. But she, want to be portrayed as somebody positive and good or whatever, right? And there's other people that they wrote for that we would know. I actually think Bill Cosby was one. But meanwhile, not nice. But Tom Hanks. I love Tom Hanks. I see a lot of his movies. He seems like he's a great guest on late night talk show hosts, Yeah. Are you really a nice guy, Tom Hanks, to play Mr. Rogers? I hope so. I hope we're not Mandela affecting Tom Hanks.
I can't wait for some secret tape to be leaked. Tom Hanks going like full racist, misogynistic talk on everyone in Hollywood.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible.
It won't happen. Did you ever see the movie Interview with a Vampire?
I don't know. It was so long ago. I wasn't into the books. I know I've seen clips of it so much that I don't know if I've seen it or think that I might have saw it.
Well, Ruben, no, you didn't, because you would have seen the movie Interview with the Vampire.
The post what?
Interview with a Vampire.
Oh.
Yeah. I enjoyed it, and I was really hopeful that it would become a series. I think that was the intent. I don't think it did that bad, but you had Brad Pitt playing a vampire, Tom Cruise playing... And what I liked about Tom Cruise, he's playing it against type. He's playing a very... They even toned it down from the books. He's playing he's a vampire. He kills people for food. Yeah, it was actually a fun movie. I enjoyed it. Kirsten Dunst, she was 12 in that movie, is her first role. But,
oh, wow.
Yeah, but it's Interview with the Vampire. And Christian Slater played the interviewer. Spoiler alert, he gets eaten at the end.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, Tom Cruise eats him, I believe. Looney Tunes, Rube. We grew up watching Looney Tunes.
What about it?
Well, we grew up watching
Love Looney Tunes.
How do you spell Looney Tunes at the end? How do you spell tunes?
Toons.
No, the show is actually called Looney Tunes, as in tunes or songs. Tunes.
That makes no sense. The show's not about loony songs.
I agree totally. But if we Google it, Looney Tunes. I just Googled it to confirm, and everything's coming up Tunes.
Weird.
It's weird because maybe the Mandela Effect makes things make sense on their own, if that makes sense. Maybe it's always said Tunes as tunes. As kids were like, no, they're cartoons. It's short for tunes, man. We're watching Looney Tunes. They're crazy cartoons. That's how I read it.
Maybe when you write out an email or a text and it looks right to you, but your brain glosses over your mistakes because you know how it should sound.
Yeah, I guess so. That's a good theory.
Maybe their brain does that for the way things actually should have been spelled.
That Rip Torn should have been dead.
Yeah, Rip Torn should have died 5 or 6. He should not have. He looked horrible. He looked horrible. I thought that was his death.
Mandela should have died in that prison.
Yeah. Yeah, Mandela. Yeah. We'll get him. So without reading ahead, Ruben, I'll just quiz you on these last few. Fruit Loops. How do you spell Fruit Loops?
Just traditional Fruit, new word LOOPS.
Wrong. Fruit is FROOT, double O.
Oh, is that so? Wow.
Isn't that weird?
Why would they even bother?
I guess it's a clever way, it's Fruit Loops. And I guess it's a way of them saying we have absolutely no fruit in the cereal.
Sure, yeah. All right, what's the next one?
All right, Ruben. Febreze. Quickly, how do you spell it?
Febreze?
Yeah.
FEBRR. You know what? You said quickly, but I was thinking about it.
No, it's okay. I don't mean quickly. So without looking is what I should have said.
Without looking, originally what I was thinking was FREBEEZE, but maybe it's Febreze, which is how you pronounce it, FEBREEZE.
What was your first spelling?
FE, and then I'm like, no, it should have been FR, but FE.
Maybe it's the way I'm pronouncing it. My apologies. It is the two spellings that are Mandela. They have nothing to do with the first two letters. So it is. How do you spell the last part?
BREEZE.
Wrong. Only one E.
One E?
Yes. See, you're getting Mandela right now. I love it. Live on air, boys.
Out of 3 E's, there's just one?
No. What I mean is not double E. It's like a breeze of wind. No, it's one E.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's just Febreze, brother. Star Wars. I know you're not a big Star Wars fan.
I watched them all, but I'm not into it.
No, I understand that, but you were raised at the same time frame that I was raised in. So Star Wars was huge when we were kids, and the big one in Empire Strikes Back is when Darth Vader makes a big revelation to Luke. And
Luke, I am your father.
You quoted exactly the wrong quote. Here we go, Rube. The phrase "Luke, I am your father." It can be found on T-shirts, hats, phone cases, anything else in between. With the recent repopulation of Star Wars, this phrase has been everywhere. But however, Ruben, if you go back and watch Star Wars now, you'll see that Darth Vader doesn't even say this. He says, "No, I am your father."
Weird. In my head, I could hear James Earl Jones saying, "Luke, I am your father." That's his name, right? James Earl Jones?
Yeah, James Earl Jones, yeah. Yeah, because I believe what the line is Luke is saying, you killed my father. You killed my father, whatever. Obi said you killed my father. And that's why Darth goes, "No, I am your father." So it kind of makes sense to say, "No, I am your father," but it's been misquoted or misremembered, at the very least misquoted. Ruben, spell the brand name Skechers.
SKETCHERS?
Wrong. No T. That's it. That's the Mandela Effect exam. The last one. You might not know this one because it's an American food chain. How do you spell Chick-fil-A?
CHICKAFLA?
Sorry, say the first, but you just need the chick part.
Check. CHICK.
So, Ruben, you spelt it the way that it is. So if you were to Google Chick-fil-A, it is CHICK. Out of all these 14 examples, Ruben, we can honestly say there was only like 2 of them, specifically on your end, where you remembered it as it is now. So out of the 14 common examples, we pretty much did it live with you, Rube, because you came in this fresh, not seeing these examples. You said the Flintstones, as it always was, with a T, that's what it is. That's what I thought too. So that one's a kind of a weird one, but maybe there are other listeners who thought it shouldn't have the Flint stone. The other one that you got right off the bat is the way it is the Chick-fil-A. Some people remember it without the K, but you say you've always remembered it with the K. So that being said, Ruben, that's not bad. 14 examples, and there's hundreds. Yeah. If you go online, I saw a list, Ruben, for 350 examples.
Oh, I'm sure there's more, yeah.
Yeah. There's also a theory, Ruben, that this phenomenon took place because of the CERN God particle experiment in 2012.
I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, for our listeners and for you, Ruben, on your own time, you can Google that. I forget the country in Europe, but there's the Super Collider. You heard about that machine? It's like hundreds of miles long or whatever. They can basically create a mini.
Uh-huh.
What was that? What was that sound?
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry. Start again.
Yeah, it's something. Well, I don't know how long. It's kilometers long, and it's just like Google. It's called the Super Collider or Collider. This by CERN, and apparently they created what was called like a mini Big Bang. And
Okay.
there's an actual real danger that this could have created a black hole that would have sucked up the Earth. And people are saying that the Mandela Effect is kind of true, because this was 2013, that after CERN did this experiment, it shifted majorly the parallel universes. There's no examples of Mandela Effect before the CERN experiment. Now, it could be causation or correlation, it doesn't matter, but that's an interesting food for thought. This was kind of a fun, interesting list. There's nothing really bad about this list, so I don't know how we can pick the worst. What do you want the criteria to be for worst? The one that didn't blow your mind very much?
The least impressive.
That's a good one, yeah. Which one shocked you the least, then? Now, we won't count the 2 that didn't change your mind, so there's 12 that you theoretically could have been shook by. We'll go through really quickly here, where you're like, whoa, I had no idea. Berenstain Bears, Flintstones, Oscar Mayer, Mirror Mirror, Sex and the City, Life is Like a Box of Chocolates, It's a Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Interview with the Vampire, Looney Tunes, Fruit Loops, and Febreze, Luke, Skechers, and Chick-fil-A. So this is the one, so we're picking, of the ones that you misremembered, which one shook you the least?
Well, I'm not really familiar with Interview with the Vampire, so I can't really speak to that. Okay, Febreze. I feel the least attachment to Febreze.
I totally agree. Even though I've used the product Febreze, I'm not
Sure.
I'm not shook by it.
No.
Forrest Gump shook me a little. Fruit Loops, the Looney Tunes for sure. Life is Like a Box of Chocolate. Yeah, Mirror Mirror on the Wall. Those are like legit. That's odd. Febreze, I'm very much indifferent. It's a horrible product, and I'm never going to use it again in my life.
Yes.
All right, Ruben, that was exciting. So remember, in front of every silver lining, there's a cloud, and we're here to help you find it. Thanks for listening, everybody.